Hello world, welcome to some yoga. I look down to look at my computer to make sure it's working, and it says live. I see me waving. A little scratchy noise as my dog crawling under the table. Okay, I think we're good. So if you notice, I have a little prop for today. We're going to attempt some chair yoga, which I think will be really fun. So if you need to go grab a chair, we can still get a crazy workout if we want, or we can take it easy, as is always the option in my class. So I'm just noticing that it's really bright behind me. We got some more sun since I last set this. Doreen, good morning. Is your daughter joining us this morning? There we go. A little darker. It's a touch better. Nice and sunny. So good. So, if you are just joining in, little chair yoga. First Friday of every month, I'm going to try to do some chair yoga. Yes, she is joining? Okay, I'm so excited. Yay! Okay, perfect. I don't remember your daughter's name. I don't actually remember if you told me. But hi! Thanks for joining in. I also have a live audience this morning. My mother-in-law is sitting just off camera. She's going to join in and have some fun with me. So, giving you just a couple moments to notice that the video is live and to get settled and to join in, grabbing a chair. So let's just chat about chair selection first. Just really anything that doesn't slide around and something where you can get some feedback. So if you're sitting on the couch, it's going to be a lot harder. So you can still do it on the couch, or at least I think. I'm not going to say none. I'm sure my husband would try it on the couch and be like, look, I did it. But I do suggest something with a bit of an edge. And once we get going, we'll move forward onto the more edge of the chair just so we can feel the sits bones. Oftentimes when we sit back in a chair, we're kind of get into that natural slouch that occurs. And so if you just sit a little bit forward, but we'll work on that. We won't go too crazy yet. Maggie? Maggie. Hi, Maggie. Thanks for joining in. Okay, so let's just get started, and let's start the way I always start my classes. It's still a yoga class after all, and so let's work on starting to settle in to how we're feeling today and get into a bit of a position where you can start to notice the body. So maybe we'll sit up nice and tall first, taking a nice big inhale. On that exhale, roll those shoulders back and down, and hands can just rest wherever is neutral. And so if you like to hold your hands or hold your knees, whatever works, and start to see how the body is feeling, working on that awareness within. Maybe you notice the neck's a little sore, maybe you slept a little weird, maybe the back is really kind of hunching in, you're noticing just how compressed you are. Let's try to lift the heart a little bit, adding into that. Checking in with the hips, the sits bones. Maybe you sit a lot during the day and you're just feeling some tension and some tightness. Taking some time to notice those little shadow areas, I like to call them, helps us, first of all, start to acknowledge our body so it doesn't need to scream at us all the time. And it also helps us heal it and move with it and start to fix the problem if we are willing and brave enough to get into some of those levels. But I'm guessing you are, since you showed up for yoga, so that should be delightful. I also like to take time to notice what feels really good. I went bowling yesterday, and I don't often squeeze or hold a ball, and my hands actually feel really good. I thought they'd be really quite sore. They were cramping up, surprisingly. And that was feeling good, and I'm grateful for it. So starting to have that attitude of gratitude as we get into some of our movement and practice as well. So we take time to notice the shadows, and we take time to be thankful for what feels good. And now let's start to have that connection in with the breath. Maybe with me just cueing the breath, you've already just changed it and started to breathe deeper. And that's a-okay. Lots of times we just breathe really shallowly into the top part of the lungs, kind of right into the collarbone. Well, let's try to bring that feeling into the rib cage, and starting to feel the entirety of the lung really start to fill up, feeling that little expanse outward that happens as you breathe that in. And then you exhale, feel how the ribs actually pull back in together. It's like another one of those breaths, bringing the breath even lower and getting into the diaphragm, getting into the big belly breathing, where you start to breathe, pressing the belly button out. And on that exhale, everything draws back in. You can use that exhale breath to soften and relax, especially if you have some of those little shadow areas within you. See if on that exhale, maybe even sigh it out and relax through those areas. So let's take a big breath together. Nice big inhale. Breathing into the abdomen and exhale. Maybe even sigh it out, letting your breath be audible. So good. Let's actually take one more of those. Big inhale breath. Maybe you wanted to sigh it out, but you didn't. And exhale. And starting to feel that little bit of centering. We're really in our moment, in our space. We can let everything else just distract away. If you have an intention you'd like to set for our time together, maybe a little purpose of whatever it is, go ahead and set that now. Maybe it's non-judgmental or having fun, not taking yourself too seriously, or getting a good stretch, or if you want to work on strengthening, we can do all of those fun things. It just depends on the approach you want to take to your class. Beautiful. Take a little moment in stillness. And let's start to wake up the body. A little wiggle into fingers, a little wiggle into toes. Maybe start to roll your wrists a little bit, going one way and the other way. Oh look, I forgot to turn my alarm off. Do the yoga. Perfect. Maybe start to lift one foot up and get some little ankle circles happening. And go the other way. Beautiful. Switch to the other side. And rotate it around. Beautiful. Put both feet back down. Making sure you can touch the ground is actually an important thing too. So if you have a block, if you need a block under your feet, or a book, or a soup pot flipped upside down, all of those things that might be helpful, and just kind of having that 90-degree of at the knee might be helpful. Here, I will share my blocks. I can touch it, just in case you need it. That might make it better. Sharing is caring. Excellent. All right. So sitting up nice and tall. Let's just take that nice good morning stretch like I always like to take. So just sweep those arms up, reach it up nice and tall. You can interlace the hands. You can reach for a wrist, whatever feels best. Reaching, finding that nice extension. See if you can get a little bit taller. Take a big inhale breath. Feel how you can reach up a little more. And let's take that exhale. Just let the arms come on back down. Beautiful. Bringing the hands just onto the knees. We're going to work with some seated cat-cow to warm up through the spine a little bit. So hands can be on the knees. If you take a little wiggle forward, you might be able to get a little bit more into those sits bones so that you're just not having that hunch naturally happen. So as long as you can sit up nice and tall, you should be good. The more to the edge of the chair you are, to me, I find it easier to kind of be right on that edge to have the sits bones there, because chairs naturally like tip down a little bit, but just whatever works for you, feel free to adjust it at any time as we're going through. So hands on the knees, take that inhale breath, lift the heart, change the gaze upward. Feel how the spine has a nice bend to it, just like in our little cow position. Take that exhale, tuck the chin, take that little round through the spine. Moving through, starting to look up, coming all the way up, reaching up, making that chin as high as possible, imagining that beam of light shooting out through the heart center. Let's tuck that chin in, take that nice little round through the spine. If you want to get the hands and the arms a little involved, like I often press in towards the mat, holding onto the knees here, you can kind of create a little pull sensation that'll activate into the shoulders, will kind of help you round and get in a little bit more. Let's start to transition this, starting to look up, lifting through the heart, and now here we're pressing into the legs. Feel how that rolls those shoulders back and down, finds a little more openness. Option to still keep the neck nice and engaged here. So although I'm lifting the chin, my throat is still working here. So I'm actively trying to lift and extend. My head isn't just all floppy here. I still have lots of control. Let's nice and slowly work on tucking that chin back in, bringing it down, rounding through the spine. Maybe you reach for the knees, adding that nice pull. Excellent, and coming just to a nice neutral position. And rolling those shoulders back and down. Take that nice big inhale breath, lengthen. Exhale, engage through the core. On that exhale, pull that belly button in towards the spine, feeling a little bit stronger through the body. Option to keep your hands on your legs, or sometimes bring your hands just onto the sides of the chair. Will help stabilize here. We're going to move around with the feet a little bit, so however works best for you. Or you can float it to make it harder, but we'll build up to that. So I'm going to start with my hands pressing in on the chair, nice and strong. And we're just going to, just like we would do our core exercises, laying down on our back with little toe taps, I'm just going to lift a knee up and bring it back down. So option to really just stay here and work there. If you want a little more, you can really squeeze that knee in, starting to activate into that hip flexor. And I feel like I need to be just a touch more on the edge for those sits bones. Excellent. Working through. If you want that little more challenge, I'm going to just bring my hands onto my hips. Apparently the most challenge is being able to balance and lean back a bit and just have both feet up a little bit at the same time. So almost like you'd be in that boat position, and then you touch one foot down and the next. So you can really feel that core. Notice, are you hunching into this? Lift the heart, roll those shoulders back and down. Really use those arms to help stabilize the upper body. Excellent. We'll take 10 more here. So wherever you're at with this, 10 on each side. So there's 8 and 7 and 6 and 5 and 4. Feeling those hip flexors yet? Here's 3, 2, and 1. Both sides. Bring the feet back down. Maybe you add a little bounce to the knees or something to help release those hip flexors. Want me to adjust your block, or are you kicking it out of the way?
I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
I might need a big one.
A bigger thing. Okay, we'll have to figure that one out.
I can find the book.
Okay. Excellent. All right, let's come to our stillness here. Sitting up nice and tall. Let's start to get into the arms and into the shoulders. So just a little bit on the hips, a little bit on the core. We'll come back to them though. So let's work on taking that inhale, reaching those arms up, bring the hands to touch. On that exhale, pull the hands through the heart center. So we'll take a few of these. Inhales to reach it up just like we regularly do. Exhales, pulling the hands in. Always that option in to add that little bit of cat-cow. So reaching up, gaze goes up, heart lifts. Exhale, you can take that little bow. If you'd like to add in some more for the spine, or you can just let this be a delightful little workout for the arms and the shoulders. And if you want to add a little more intensity, if you add some resistance, so as you're lifting the arms, imagine you have 10-pound buckets that you're trying to lift up with them. Exhale, pressing into the hands, pressing hands to heart. Let's take just 2 more of these. You can add the resistance or keep it nice and easy. Floating them up, pressing into those hands. Excellent. Last one. Reaching it up. Nice and strong. Press the hands down to heart center. Pressing into those hands, into the fingers, not just into the palms. Have that awareness and through the entirety of the hand. Roll those shoulders back and down. Excellent. Exhale. Relax through the arms. Relax through the shoulders. Let's bring those arms just up overhead, just to reach up and hold. You can come to steeple. This is one of my favorite ways. We're going to get into some side bends. Roll and relax those shoulders. And extend the crown of the head nice and tall. Notice, are the ribs puffing out? Can you start to draw them inwards? Take a nice inhale breath. On the exhale, engage the core. And let's tip over towards the left. Reaching, you can keep your hands relaxed if you want an easy version. If you want a little more, the more you extend that right arm, the more pull you'll feel through the shoulder, through the underarm, into that rib cage maybe even. Keep holding here. You're using those obliques. Maybe tip a little further. Excellent. Let's come all the way up. Keep those arms up overhead. Really start to engage there. Take a nice inhale. Keep that core nice and strong. Exhale over towards the right. Big reach. Nice and strong. You can always relax those elbows if you need it a little bit more gentle. Nice inhale. Maybe on that exhale you go a little deeper. Let's come up all the way back up. Hands to heart center. Coming into that little nice bow, or transitioning this into a seated forward fold. So you can just simply bow. Maybe you rest the elbows down on your knees. Maybe you relax the hands. Maybe you let the body fold onto those legs. Maybe you reach the hands down for the feet. If you reach the toes, maybe tuck a couple fingers under the toes. Letting the head, the neck relax. And taking a couple of breaths here. Nice little inhale. Nice exhale. One more breath. Big inhale. Exhale, let it go. And start to press yourself back up just to a nice neutral seated position. Beautiful. Let's bring those arms up, reaching them up just like we did before. Bring the hands to touch, but instead of drawing them down, we're going to flip the palms outwards, rotating them back down. I really like this variation. So just moving with your own breath. Inhales to reach up, exhales to go down. Just that little different of an angle. I think for years I've always done the traditional reach it up and pull the hands down to heart center. And this is just novel enough that I really start to enjoy it and get a little more into some muscles in the shoulders, to which we're about to really target. So taking just a few more, feeling that lengthening, really trying to extend out nice and long through those fingertips. And let's come up halfway. So making that nice T, palms facing up. And keep those shoulders nice and relaxed, but extend the arms nice and long. Notice the ribs, are they puffing out? Engage that core. Let's make a fist. Big squeeze. Let's add some little circles in. So this will start really easy, probably doesn't feel like much, but as I get chatting here, you'll probably start to feel the burn. Your option is to slow down if it gets too intensive, or if you're looking for more, speed it up and go a little bit more crazy. So totally your choice, whichever you would like. So fun having a little camera. I noticed that I kind of go off kilter, so that's fun. Maybe you do as well. So moving through, shoulder mobility is huge, and just taking these little circles is the same thing as kind of rotating around in the hips. You're getting all of those little shoulder muscles, all those minor muscles are activating nice and good. Let's stop, go the other way. Just working those same muscles, but in the opposite direction. Starting to maybe feel a little bit of warmth, or maybe you're feeling full burn. Maybe you have the sun on your back heating you up tons. It's not the day to wear a dark shirt, but it's good. Excellent, keep going. We'll keep going for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax those arms down. Give them a nice break. You can take a little roll through the shoulders. And if you need that to release, maybe bring them forward or the opposite direction. I naturally always go back. I always do the back stroke. Here's the front stroke. All right, come to that stillness. Let's give those arms a little break, but we'll bring those arms up, interlace the hands just behind the head. If you naturally push the head forward, maybe just bring fingertips to ears. That'll alleviate that extra pull on the neck. I like to link my hands though because it makes it lazier on the arms. It's a little bit more restorative. And take that inhale and lengthen. Exhale, engage. Beautiful. And we're just going to add a little twist in. So we've got a little boss arm twist. I'm twisting towards the right. Start pressing into the feet. Feel how you need those feet to help stabilize the hips. Otherwise, odds are that right hip is drawing backwards. So try to keep those hips nice and neutral. Take that inhale and lengthen. Exhale, maybe twist a little deeper. And just feeling that they squeeze through all the abdominals. Take a little glance at the knees. Make sure they're nice and aligned. Beautiful. Let's come out of this Coming back towards neutral, but keep those arms up. Take a nice inhale and exhale over towards the left. Nice little rotation. Starting to get it through. Just using the power of the core to twist around, feeling that rotation. Keep pressing into the feet. Maybe take that little glance at the knees. Keep rolling that left hip forward. Nice inhale, maybe lengthen. And on that exhale, back towards neutral, keeping those arms up still. Beautiful. Let's just add on into this. So we're going to take another couple rounds of twists, but we're going to add a little forward fold into it. So here's what our motion looks like. Nice inhale to lengthen, always having a nice tall spine. And on the exhale, we're twisting around. And then adding in a little forward fold. So maybe you just come down a little bit, or maybe you work on connecting elbow down to the knee. Your choice, making sure you're not pulling too much on the neck. Whether it be left knee or right knee, really doesn't matter. Just adding that folded. And then using that core strength, or maybe pressing into the feet. Come on back up. Keep that twist if you can. And then untwist right over towards the other side. Take an inhale, lengthen. Exhale. Start to add that little bow in. Trying to keep a nice flat back. Maybe that elbow touches down to the knee. Maybe you spin that top elbow open. Feeling that huge twist. Pressing into the feet. Let's come on back up. Untwist, and we'll just do one more on either side. So twisting over, add that nice little bow in. So good. I'm going to keep my elbows nice and open here, just adding that little bow, trying to get my body leaning on just that one leg. Big inhale, lengthen. Exhale, pressing into the feet, coming up nice and strong. Coming back through neutral. Really open and expand the elbows. Lengthening so tall, and exhaling, having that nice twist. Take that nice little bow. Pressing down. Beautiful. Big inhale. And exhale, pressing into those feet. Come on back up. Untwist it. Relax through the arms, bring them down. So good. Let's take a nice big stretch, reaching it up. Exhale, start to reach forward, coming into a nice forward fold. Dropping the hands down, maybe just resting the body. I like to bring my hands underneath my knees as well. It just kind of adds that little anchor point. So you're welcome to play around with that, but if you'd like to just reach down for the toes or just towards the ground in general, that feels really good. But as I pull into the backs of my legs, I just kind of get a little deeper stretch and B, a little more engagement through my shoulders. Beautiful. Nice inhale and exhale. Try to invite a little softness. Nice little recovery pose here. Beautiful. Let's start to release. Maybe you're pressing into your legs and to come up nice and safe, protecting that low back. Sitting up nice and tall. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, roll those shoulders back and down. Beautiful. Let's start to get into those hips. So we've done spine, shoulders. Now let's not forget our hips. They're so delightful to us. So simply just by starting by crossing right leg over. Just seeing where you naturally cross, working on that. Maybe your ankle is right by your knee. Maybe you naturally cross knee over knee. Just working here. Notice your posture. So as you're sitting there, did everything fall in? Can you find that length again? So we're going to work on just having just above the knees where I'm hanging out. But if you have a better placement, you can adjust as you need to. But we're going to work on lowering that knee down, coming into almost like a seated pigeon or a seated figure four. So we're finding that external rotation at the hip. Taking a couple moments, getting into it. This might be really easy for some and really hard for others. External rotation is easier for me. I don't want to say like I'm proficient at it, but this is how I normally sit. I'm not really feeling a whole lot here, but I know some people are just screaming. So my goal here is trying to get this shin parallel to the ground.
Not this on this side.
Not on that side?
Not the.
Yes, each side can be very different. So just like when we push our knee out before we come into that figure four, this is that same motion, getting that same nice stretch. All right, I'm going to take a little moment. I'm going to add a little back bend in. So I'm holding on to however you want to hold the leg. I've got knee and ankle. I'm going to inhale, lift the heart, add that little back bend. Maybe the gaze goes up. Keep that neck engaged though. Don't just let that head flop back. Like unless that's what you really want, I'm not going to say no, but just be mindful. Lifting through the heart. Exhale, tuck that chin in, come back up. And then let's bring knee towards knee. So now we're working more with that cow face pose position, working with just a different angle, almost internal rotation. You have to use this bottom leg to stabilize. So just take a little moment, press that left foot down into the ground. That'll help add some resistance. Now our goal is our shin to be parallel with our other shin. So trying to bring both legs nice and straight, just feel that little pull, maybe down through the IT band, maybe just in right in at the hip. Maybe you feel nothing because your internal rotation is great. This one, I feel a lot more. I'm even going to add some more resistance, just holding on the outer side of the leg and just gently pulling it in, almost like I'm adding a bit of a twist in. Actually, that's a great idea. Let's just do that, grabbing onto the knee. Take an inhale and lengthen. Exhale, rotate. Maybe you feel that more, maybe you feel that less. That should ideally add a little bit more pull into the side of the hip, and maybe just the twist feels really nice. And let's exhale, release the twist, but keep the knees nice and crossed. Beautiful. Maybe grabbing on to the knee. If you want more challenge, if you're not feeling much here, hugging the knee in towards the chest is what we're going to work on next. So that's really all it is. You can keep foot on knee if that works. I'm sitting quite forward on my chair. Lots of times we would just rest the foot on the chair. But we'll just use that knee as a little anchor. If you can't reach it, that's okay. We're just working on hugging that knee in. See if you can now relax the shoulders. So letting that knee just kind of sit and rest. Still finding length through the spine. Excellent. Let's exhale. Start to release. We'll just bring that foot all the way down. Great way to uncross it. If you want, you can take a little bounce, releasing through those hips, or just because the bouncing's fun. Finding some stillness, getting ready to do those hip stretches on the other side. So starting to just cross your legs, however that works. I wish we could do like comparative anatomy and all see each other and see what's easy and what's not. That was actually my favorite part of yoga teacher training. So ideally, we're trying to get the ankle more in line with the knee, and we're going to press that knee down towards the ground. I just noticed my foot position. My bottom foot was at a weird angle. So I'm just going to try to keep knee and foot in line with the hip for that maximum stability. I'm going to take that nice inhale, lengthen through the spine, exhale, focus in on those hips. See if you can release some of that tension. Keep actively trying to press that knee down. I don't like to necessarily put hands on and manipulate it down because I think we can overstretch in that way. But if you're just using that natural strength of actively trying to push that knee down farther and farther, we're actually helping build up some of those stabilizing muscles, which I think is huge important. You can get the same effect by cranking on the knee, but A, your knee probably won't enjoy that, and B, you're not getting as much out of the stretch. That's how we'll phrase that. Nice and neutral for the internet. Beautiful. Take that nice inhale. Maybe you lengthen. Maybe you hold on to knee and ankle. And if you want, you can start to change that gaze up, getting a nice little back bend in, lifting through the heart, having everything lift from the collarbone, and keeping that neck nice and engaged. Maybe you're feeling that nice stretch through the esophagus, through the front of the throat. And exhale, tuck that chin in. Start to come on back. Excellent. Let's transition this into more of that cow face. So pressing into that bottom leg to really help add that little bit of resistance. Yeah, see, this is my bad side where I have a really hard time trying to align that shin and all the way down. So I'm just gonna hold on to the knee here just to add that little resistance in. Oh, there we go. Oh, I found the sweet spot. Oh, that feels so good. Taking that inhale and lengthen. We want to add that nice little twist in, starting to twist towards the left, rotating around. Maybe you keep adding that little resistance. Keep trying to align that foot to the ground, knee to the ceiling. One more nice inhale. And on that exhale, let's release. Coming back just towards neutral, keeping that leg nice and crossed. Maybe grabbing onto the leg. Let's start to hug it in towards the chest. So maybe it just comes up a little bit. That's a-okay. Maybe you can plant that foot on the leg, wrapping the hands around. Still trying to sit nice and tall. Oh, perfect. That's great. So good. So notice, as you're holding here, where do you feel tension or where do you feel engagement of the muscles? Are you squeezing through the shoulders? Can you maybe start to relax them? Are you squeezing through that left hip? And can you start to relax it here? That's what we work on to start to lengthen through those muscles and get that nice stretch sensation. Is that little relaxing? Let's take that nice inhale. Nice exhale. Softening. So good. All right, let's start to release this. Maybe bringing the foot off, completely uncrossing the legs and bringing the foot down. You can add that little bounce in if you'd like to release. Beautiful. All right, I'm gonna scooch back on my chair just a little bit because I wanna work on a sun salutation. I wanna be able to hug my knee in. I like to hook my heel on the chair, but you don't have to. So you can do the whole foot on knee thing if that was your jam. So just do a little test, see what you prefer, adjust as needed. We'll do the first one nice and slow. We'll break it down bit by bit, and then we'll start to move through it. So let's start by bringing your hands to heart center. Take a nice inhale breath. Get nice and tall. Exhale, roll those shoulders back and down. Let's inhale, sweep those arms up, reaching up nice and tall. Let's add a little back bend in. So maybe just reaching back behind you or tipping the head back. Feel that nice curve through the spine. Exhale, bring those hands through the heart center. Add that little bow in, maybe even coming all the way down into that nice forward fold. Take a little moment, maybe that feels really good on the low back. Always the option to reach your hands down to the ground. Maybe pressing into the feet.
You can put my hands right on the floor.
Nice. Beautiful, nice inhale. And on the exhale, let's start to walk those hands up, coming back up towards seated. Starting with your left leg, start to hug that left knee in. Sitting nice and tall. And just working through there. It's taking a couple of moments to adjust and to get through it. Maybe try the foot on the knee, maybe the foot on the chair, however you want to be seated. If you have the foot on the chair, though, make sure you're not just slouching into this. The goal is to still have nice activation through the spine, through those back muscles, and to have nice activation through that right standing leg. So keep pressing that bottom foot down towards into the floor. Feel that engagement through the legs. So good. One more nice inhale. Big exhale. Let those shoulders melt down. And then let's start to lower the leg back down, nice and slow. If you want a little harder, you can work with control. Coming into the other side, starting to bring that right foot up, maybe just hugging it in. Maybe you hook the heel on the edge of the chair. Lengthen through the spine, roll those shoulders back and down, and try to have that nice engagement through the left leg, pressing that left foot in. Just feel how that engages in through the hip, which actually helps stabilize some of our fascial lines, keeping the whole body nice and engaged. Relax through those shoulders. Take a nice inhale, nice full exhale. And start to release that foot. If you want the extra challenge, you can release your hands and just nice and slowly lower that leg back down. Beautiful. Let's take another back bend. Nope. And let's extend both legs nice and long. Flex through the toes, extend through the heels. Feel that back line of the body start to activate. Let's point through the toes. Feel the front line, feel those shins start to engage. And relax through the feet. Bend the knees, plant the feet. Take that nice inhale, sweep those arms up, coming into our back bend. Reaching up nice and tall. Maybe the hands stay up towards the ceiling. Head just tips back, or you start to reach those hands back. And getting that extra stretch, lifting through the heart. Exhale, hands to heart center, coming back to neutral. Tucking the chin. And coming into our nice little forward fold. Reaching the hands down, or even wrapping them behind the knees. Relax the neck. Are you holding tension there? Maybe give it a little shake. No. Start to release the hands wherever they're at. And take that exhale. Start to come on back up. Sitting up nice and tall. And coming into the opposite leg first. Right leg, left leg in. Opposite leg in towards the chest. Sometimes I get lefts and rights mixed up. Pressing that right foot down, hugging that left knee in, getting nice and tall, relaxing through those shoulders. So good. Keep pressing into that bottom one. Let's start to release. Maybe you want that extra challenge of keeping that knee up, releasing the arms and lowering the foot back down. Let's come into the other side. If you want that extra challenge, you can try to get that foot up without holding on to it. Might need to wiggle off to the side. You can't quite do it. Need to eventually hold on, hug it in, keep pressing in to that left standing leg. Lengthening through the spine. Beautiful. Let's start to release. Take that exhale. If you want that challenge, release the hands and drop that knee back down. Let's inhale. Take a nice back bend. Reach it up nice and tall. Exhale. Just drawing the hands to heart center. Finishing off our sun sail here. Working on sitting back up nice and tall. Roll those shoulders back and down. So that is the complete version of our seated sun sail that we're working on today. It's technically a sun sail B, even though the page said A, but that is A-okay. Excellent. Well, let's move through that one more time, because I think that's quite delightful. So we have our hands at heart center. Let's take an inhale breath, reach it up, take that nice back bend. Big inhale. Let's move with the breath. Take that exhale. Start to add that nice bow down towards the ground. Nice forward fold. Sinking into that forward fold. Nice inhale and exhale. And let's start to come on back up towards seated. Hugging a right leg in towards, giving it a nice big squeeze. Lengthening, sitting up nice and tall. Taking a full round of breath here. On that exhale, start to release. Bring both feet back down, just switching over to the other side. Still that option to just bring the foot up naturally with those hip flexor muscles, or to use the hands. Give it a nice big squeeze, full inhale and exhale here. So breathe it in, lengthen, lift the heart. Exhale, relax the shoulders. On that next exhale, let's release the foot. I'm enjoying these little opening up and lowering it down. Bring the hands onto the chair and extend the legs. Flexing through the feet, extend through the heel. Toes come in towards the body. Take a little moment, point through the toes. Feel those legs be nice and engaged. Bend the knees, flat the feet. Inhale, sweep those arms up. Nice little back bend. Reach it up. Gaze can go back behind you. Hands can stay open. I love to come into steeple here, just what I naturally do. Exhale. Hands to heart, rolling all the way down into a nice forward fold. Full breath here. Big exhale. Take that inhale, start to rise it up. Exhale, roll those shoulders back and down. And coming into the opposite side first with the legs. Bringing that left leg in, your choice to just float it up and hover or grab on, hugging it in. Option to keep it floating as well. You don't have to hook the heel on the chair if you'd rather just hug that knee in a little more. Nice inhale, lengthen. Exhale, relax the shoulders. On the end of the next exhale, let's release the leg. Bringing it down. And switching to the other side. Knee comes in. Oh yeah. Hug it in. Give it a nice squeeze. Take that inhale and lengthen. Exhale, relax. On that next exhale, let's lower the foot back down. And take that nice inhale. Sweep the arms up, taking that back bend. Real nice and tall, beautiful stretch on the spine. And exhale, just bringing the hands to heart center, not going into that forward fold, just finishing off where we started. Pressing hands together and giving that nice little activation through the shoulders. Great job. Nice inhale and an exhale. All right, I love to work the hips, so let's keep working the hips a little bit more here. We're gonna get ready to come into our cradle the baby or our seated pigeon pose, however you want to do it. We've been doing lots with bringing one knee in towards the chest. So let's start, starting on your right side, start to bring that knee in. Maybe just wrap your hands around the knee. Knee can stay nice and low, always an option. Maybe even foot on the high version of the block. Still pressing into that left standing leg. Or you can start to hug the knee in if you want a little more. Hugging the knee in a little more. Maybe start to add that little rock from the side to side. Starting to feel that nice opening up of the hip. Try to keep this left side nice and still. So it's just the right side spinning open and close. So you're welcome, if this is torturous, to stay here, work out some of those kinks, maybe you pulse it in a couple of areas. But if this is still easy for you, we can work on our cradle of the baby. So now we get that external rotation, starting to hold on to knee and foot, and hugging that leg in towards the body. So here's that little pigeon variation of it. You can add that nice little rock in here. Some people are super flexible with their hips, so I'm just gonna keep going and you stop when you need to. I know, Maggie, you were really flexible last time, so I'll try to accommodate all of your abilities and movements because you're so good. All right, so if you want a little more, then you're bringing foot to connect in just above the elbow, wrapping hand around. Other hand can hang out on the knee. Need some good external rotation here. You can add that nice little rock in. If you want a little more, you can do the full swaddle the baby, or at least what I call it. Bring that other hand all the way around, drawing that leg in towards the chest. This is my good side. My other side's worse. I started on my good side, and I knew it. You can add that little rock in. Maggie, I don't know where you're at, but if this is still easy for you, we can actually bring this further. So the next option of this, although I do love this one, having the hand clasp feels real good. If we bring our right hand and tuck it under the leg, we could bring both elbows under the leg, bring your hands to that nice prayer position, and then if you want more still, you can try to bring your thumbs to your forehead, lifting the elbows, lifting the leg, bringing it in. You can add that little rock in. Feels crazy. I don't know if it's just me. I have a hard time bringing thumbs to elbows. If this is still easy, then the next step is hooking your knee over your shoulder. But I feel like we're no longer in the gentle realm. So we might have left it a long time ago for you. You might be swearing at me right now. That's okay. I can't hear you anyway. Make it louder. You can't. I would hear you. All right, so that's where we're at. Let's come out of this nice and safe. So if you have the elbow hook, let's grab onto that foot, Let's release that right hand, bring it back around, and start to relax that foot down, just connecting ankle with the knee. So we'll just take a little moment here. Let's sit up nice and tall. Inhale, roll those shoulders back and down. Odds are we all hunched into that at some point, trying to go to the next level. Relax. You did it? Oh my gosh. Did you do the knee over the shoulder? Is that what you did? Or like we got the elbow or the thumb connection? I feel like I need more clarification. I'm so proud right now though. I mean, it doesn't matter if you couldn't, but I like to celebrate with the craziness. All right. Take that nice inhale. Take that exhale. Relax. And then start to relax that foot back down. Great job. On there, you can add that little bounce to the knees. If you need to release that hip flexor, hopefully we're getting more into not just the hip flexor, but into the IT band, maybe a bit into the glutes, into the piriformis. So many muscles around there. All right, let's find our stillness. Are you ready to do the other side? Here's my bad side, it'll be different, but we'll still try it anyway. So we'll take that nice inhale and lengthen first. Still trying to do this with a nice flat back. Exhale, start to hug that left leg in towards the body. So maybe you're hanging out here. Maybe that knee is nice and low. Maybe you really bring that knee in towards the chest. You can start to add that little rock in. And trying to keep that right leg nice and still, just rocking through that left side. Relax a little bit through the shoulders, trying not to hunch. I see a comment there, I can't quite read it yet. All right, if you want a little more, you know where we're going, but I still like to go into this nice and slow, one step at a time. So if you want a little more, maybe you reach on for ankle and for knee. Getting that external rotation, hanging out here. Beautiful. Once you start to feel really good here, or if you don't feel good at all here, then you can just hang out. You can add some little pulses in with the leg, working on some of those kinks, some of those shadow areas. But if you want that more, my foot's peeling. Bring that foot just above the elbow, just so you can wrap the arm around. If you have the foot lower, then obviously the foot gets in the way. And then maybe just holding on to that knee, getting it in. I feel the tightness already, even here. And still pressing into that right standing leg, finding that nice stability and lifting through the heart, nice flat back. If you want that more, wrapping hands around, trying to interlace at the fingers. Oh yeah. This is where I'm feeling it. Feels really good. You can add that little rock in from side to side. Oh, a nice little baby. Yeah, little leg baby. Kiss the baby. Love the baby. If you can't reach the knee, kiss the shoulder. A little self-love is important. Actually, kisses release oxytocin, which is the trust hormone. It makes you feel good, so that's fun. All right, want to try the hands at prayer? Might as well. So, bringing that left hand and tucking it under the leg. Bring both hands under. So now the arms are taking the weight of the leg. Leg is still drawing in towards the body. You can bring your hands to that prayer position. This is where I feel like I'm at my max today. I'm really hunching into this at this point. So I'm going to try to find some length here. But if you want to work on bringing those thumbs to your forehead, have at her. That's the next step. Lifting and really drawing that leg in. Got a huge hunch happening. So I found my max. And I'm okay with that. I don't need to get my ego involved. It can be checked at the door. And add that little rock motion. How's that feeling for you guys? Hopefully this is good. Beautiful. Excellent. All right, one more nice inhale. Nice full exhale. Let's start to journey on out of that. So if you've got your hands at prayer, let's bring that left hand, releasing it first. Maybe just holding on to that leg or that knee. Release the right hand, bring ankle down onto knee, just coming out halfway first. Sitting up nice and tall, take that huge inhale, roll those shoulders back and down, exhale. So good. And then start to release that foot, bringing it down all the way. You can add that little bounce in if that feels good. And find that stillness. I feel like we need a little back bend after that to counteract all the hunching. So I'm going to take that nice inhale. My hands are hanging out on my knees. Lifting up, reaching the heart up, almost like that seated cat-cow. Just get that huge back bend, lifting through the heart. And if you want a little more, you can start to bring your hands into those boss arms, opening up through the elbows, lifting through the heart. Keep lengthening through the spine though. Don't just be compressing into it to try to get a little more depth. Keep lifting, keep pressing into those feet. See if you can activate the legs here. And exhale, release. Coming back just to that nice neutral. Draw the belly button in towards the spine. Let's relax through the arms. Excellent. Want to get in one more thing. I was wanting to teach a different breath technique every day this week. And so today we're going to work with Robin's breath, which includes the arms. It's a great thing to do if you have mucus buildup in the chest because it involves a little thump or a little pound on the chest. And really can get really fun and wild. It is common to get dizzy, so it's a perfect one to do seated. Actually, we would do it seated. Actually, no, I've done it standing as well, but it's a great one to do seated, so we'll start there. So, just being mindful of all of that. So this is what it looks like. We'll bring our arms out wide like a T. Take a nice inhale, get nice and tall, exhale, feel that little engagement of the core. So this is what is going to happen. I'll explain it first and then we'll do it. So we're gonna add in a little twist through the spine, so rotating, and as we're twisting, we're gonna bring hand in. You can option to make that little fist and add that little pump or tap in at the collarbone. And then we'll release the arm as we're untwisting, coming into the other side. Other hand comes in, has a nice little thump, and then we'll just move back and forth between the two. Option to go nice and slow or to speed it up, totally your choice. Usually I'll start slow and then build it up and then slow it back down. So that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, your arms are gonna get tired. You can stop at any time as well. And that is your permission. I'm gonna try to go for a full 30 seconds though, although I don't have a timer, so we'll choose our own adventure here. So let's get ready. Take that nice inhale. Take that exhale. Oh, and exhale is the thump. And then inhale, arms open, exhale, thump. I guess I should cue how we're breathing that. So inhale, arms nice and open. Exhale, start to twist, add that thump in. So it's a little bit of a faster breath. It doesn't necessarily have to be audible, but I like to do that just straight up so that you guys can hear it and move through it. So I'm gonna stop talking now and we're just gonna focus in on it, and I'm gonna build it up a little bit quicker. So, my dog is very concerned. I'm okay. Just a few more, it's okay, Callie. All right, for 3, 2, and 1, we'll slow it down. Feeling that through the arms, through the shoulders. Come to a stop. Roll out those shoulders. Killer, hey? Oh, yes, that's right. My mother-in-law broke her shoulder a couple years ago, and I'm torturing her with shoulder exercises. That's what's happening. Hopefully she still loves me. All right, let's cool down this class and finish it off. This is my dog, Callie. If you've never met her, she always sits under the table during yoga. But she is a caring dog. She's checking on both of us. She's so sweet. All right, I'm going to bring knees and ankles together just so that I can press legs together, have that nice activation, just getting into those inner thighs. We'll just work on engaging the entire body, and then we'll take a big exhale and release. So squeezing ankles together, squeezing knees together, squeezing those thighs together completely. Imagine squeezing those glutes. Yeah, we're engaging there. Squeezing Mula Bandha, engaging that pelvic floor, zipping everything up and in, engaging through that core. Start to squeeze those arms into the body, squeezing those shoulders. They'll probably come up, and tuck that chin in. Take a big inhale and exhale, release it all. So good. That was awesome. Let's do one more of those. Actually, let's do 2 more of those. Sets of 3 are always really nice. So start by squeezing in the feet, the ankles, the knees. And the thighs, engage those hips, the glutes. Engage that pelvic floor, zip in the core, ribs engage, arms squeeze in, and maybe even make fists. So much engagement, tuck the chin, squeeze everything you possibly can. Take a big inhale, and exhale, side out. Oh, that's like magic. All right, last one of those. Starting to bring in that squeeze, pressing everything in, thighs, glutes, core, everything, arms come in, maybe you make fists, really squeeze those shoulders as hard as you can, tuck the chin, big inhale, and exhale, side out. Beautiful. And sit back on your chair, we can start to get a little bit more comfy, starting to feel that nice connection in. Let's stretch out those shoulders a little bit. Bring your right shoulder just across the body. Just a nice, simple shoulder stretch. And adding that little pull in. If you want a little more, keep rolling that right shoulder back. That'll also add a little resistance on that front arm. For some reason, I love to wiggle my fingers here. So if that's you as well, or making fists, if there's a little movement you want to add in, you're more than welcome to. Or you can just embrace the stillness. One more nice big breath. And then release. I'm just coming right into the other side. Reaching left arm across. Maybe you just simply pull it across. That's enough on your shoulder. If you need a little more, keep rolling that shoulder back. Feeling that little extra engagement. Maybe you really add that resistance. Really pulling that right hand in. Pressing against each other. And take a nice breath in. And let it go. And then on that next exhale, let's start to release. Taking some of those little backstroke shoulders. If you want more, you can always use the arms in here. But it's just meant to release that shoulder stretch. And come to stillness. And drop chin down towards the chest and roll it towards the right. Getting a nice little neck stretch. If you want a little more, you can bring your hand onto left shoulder and actively pull down there. Adding a little more. Then you can always change the angle of the head, either gazing down or up. You'll find that sweet spot. But necks are sensitive and neck muscles often don't get a lot of attention. So just be careful. That's all I'm saying. You can do it, just be careful. Nice inhale, maybe you lengthen through the crown of the head. And exhale, release that hand if it's on the shoulder. Bring the chin down towards the chest and rotate around towards the other side. If this is enough, you are so welcome to just hang out here. You don't have to progress it. But if you do need that progression, bring the hand onto that right shoulder. Getting that extra little pull in. Maybe you extend the head nice and long. Take a big inhale. Take a nice exhale. So good. I always do the second side a little faster, so we'll just take that extra breath. Try to keep it balanced. And then let's release the hand. Drop that chin back down. Bring the head back up towards neutral. If you want a little neck back bend, I like to just come back into that boss arms. Bring the hands behind the head. And then as I gaze up, I'm actively pressing my head into my hands and kind of extending my hands upward ever so slightly. Just getting a little traction on the spine. Nice little lift of the head. My head's not tipping back tons, but just a bit to engage. Maybe you feel this more through the shoulders. I don't know. I just think this one's great. And exhale. Let's release. Bring those hands to heart center, and we will do a seated Shavasana. Just taking a little time to scan through the body, becoming aware and noticing change. Ooh, so powerful. So you're welcome to close your eyes, but if you're not comfortable with doing that, just find a little point of something to focus in on and start to connect in with that breath. And start to take a nice big inhale. Breathing it in, feeling that rib cage expand, maybe even breathing into that diaphragm. Take that nice exhale. Relax, bring everything in. We'll take just a large number of breaths. Really, it's all about breathing. Taking a big inhale. Nice full exhale. The breath is a great way to calm the body. Take a nice inhale and an exhale. That is the last big breath that I will cue. You are welcome to keep those big inhales and exhales going. And start to notice through the body. I'll just lead us through a little scan. Starting maybe at the crown of the head, the top of the head. How does the head feel? How does the skull feel? How's the jaw? Are you clenching your teeth? Do you have tension in your eyebrows? Can you just start to relax the muscles in your face? And how does the neck feel? Can you feel right where the neck connects in at the skull? Can you lengthen, getting a little bit taller? Rolling the shoulders back and down, finding that length through the spine. How does the spine feel? Going all the way down to the tailbone. See if you can imagine each vertebrae. How are the shoulders? Do they feel equal? Is one a little bit more sore? Is one more tight? Are you noticing maybe a little more openness from now to the beginning of class? And keep going down. How do the arms feel? The elbows, the wrists? And can you become aware of each one of your fingers? Can they be nicely relaxed? Taking a breath. Starting to notice the rib cage. Starting to notice the hips, the legs. Those hip sockets, the femurs, the quads, the hamstrings, the knees. How are the calves and the shins? How do the ankles feel? And there's so many bones in your feet. Maybe you give each one of your toes a little squeeze in towards the floor and relax. How does the arch feel? And noticing the heels. Taking some time just to be grateful for the body, for all it does for us, even if it's not perfect. It still gets us through each day. Let's take a nice big inhale, breathing it in, getting nice and tall. Big full exhale, maybe you sigh it out. Bring the hands to heart center, just the position of gratitude. And I thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day filled with moments of joy, and I pray that you are always blessed. Thank you, and we'll see you next time. Namaste. Beautiful. All right, so quick note about chair yoga. It is not always seated yoga, but today I wanted to do a full seated sequence and work on our sun salves, but we can actually use the chair in some standing postures. So in August, we're going to work on standing chair yoga first Friday of the month. That's what's coming up. I'm sure I will post about it and let you all know what's going on. Perfect. Okay, thank you.
That's